Kevin and the gang.
I'm laughing at Tommy in here.
Man, everybody laughs at Tom.
Well, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at what he said. But
Oh.
anyway, one thing we missed last week, guys, I forgot to mention. Well, we'll get that in a little bit. Hold on. I got to get in the right segment. All right. We do have a special video for the folks at home this week. Tom, we've got more comments from the milkman. So it's time for the milkman. Zach, if you would hit computer there.
Oh, gosh.
And we'll play the milkman here on KTC Broadcasting.
I agree the salary's low, but can it be more with that many levels of the minors? Is there truly a need for so many levels of the minors? No other league has that. NBA has the G League, and now college players can make more money off NIL. I wouldn't be shocked if low A-ball is gone eventually. Four-time major champion Brooks Koepka is the latest golfer to defect to the LIV Tour. This is a huge move. All startup sports leagues have to follow, though. If you have the capital, you try and buy the high-level and notable talent from the competing league to help drive interest in your league. I love the home run derby. I don't care what anyone says. Timberland's Give It To Me has one of the dopest beats. Just by working with computers, I've gotten better at typing without the keyboard than any stupid keyboarding class in my middle school taught me.
This is a little disturbing.
So Tom,
Sorry.
did you like this week's Hunter? We call him Yancey Hunter. Yancey Hunter reads tweets by Yancey Hunter.
Yeah, that was very Hunter-esque. Little shot at public school system there. Experience teaches you, Hunter? No, we'd never guess that. No, experience doesn't teach you anything. Everything you're supposed to know, you're supposed to know by the time you graduate high school. Don't you know that? And anytime somebody doesn't know something, they blame it on the school system. Mm-hmm. You know what, Terry? That's the way it is. If a 55-year-old man can't list his three branches of government, it was his ninth grade civics teacher that never did it. I mean, but that's just kind
a
of
lot of pressure on Tom. It seems like
no.
A lot of pressure over here.
No. 3 more years is going to be somebody else's problem. But we forgot that Hunter's tweets are brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. I know, Shelby Heating and Air, you are proud to bring Hunter's tweets to our listening audience there. The Southerners have a saying for people like Hunter. Bless his heart. His greatest tweets, bless his heart. What else could you say?
So did you see the newest Nick Saban comments talking about? I'm trying to find the exact wording on
whatever Nick said. Nick needs to shut up.
You're on the other side.
Nick's a jerk. And it's okay for him to make millions of dollars and hop around and do whatever he wants. But if a 20-year-old kid coming out of the projects tries to make a little money to buy his mama a house, ooh, he's a villain, isn't he, Terry? He's terrible. Now, I know Terry doesn't agree, but I'm just telling you.
I'm just amazed that when the thing come out in Georgia just won the national championship and Alabama still favored number one.
Big time. Not even close. Not even close, Terry.
I mean, it's just funny how that happens.
So,
you're not even relevant.
How many people did Georgia lose off that defense, though, Terry? I mean, they had that. I'd have to look.
Okay, do you replace them, right? Is that what the SEC does? Just replace them?
Not that defense. That defense had what they say, 8 or 9 draft picks on it.
So here's something Deion Sanders says, and this is said about Alabama, and this is something that I've said about schools like Cherryville and Bessemer playing like Burns and Shelby. Just kind of listen to it a little bit. He was asked about playing other teams in the state, and he said, of course, maybe one day, but he wouldn't mind playing the other schools besides Alabama right now. He said he's got to give me another year. I've got to beef up in the front. The difference between Power 5s and HBCUs right now is that those big guys in the middle. It's not the quarterbacks. It's not the receivers, the DBs, their skill positions. It's those big dogs in the middle. We've got to beef up like that to be able to compete with something like that. And that's
Makes
what,
sense.
and that's what,
I agree.
And,
I
that's
agree.
the point that we've been making about these small and bigger schools. And I've said that for years, that it's not we always thought our receivers and quarterbacks and we always thought we were just as good as theirs. Is that the other team had 10, 15 linemen and we got 3 or 4.
I was just going to say, and they're deeper.
Right.
They're deeper.
Yeah.
Like Ohio State seems like they always have 12 defensive linemen.
Right.
You know,
the
and you
biggest guys
rotate,
in the country go to Alabama, Georgia. That's
Yeah.
right. They used to go to like Nebraska and teams like that. But here's some other comments on it. Saban on the conferences, talking about if there are 2 20-team leagues, how would that impact the others in those leagues? I do think if we move towards American Conference, the whole thing about competitive balance is going to be in question. Nick Saban said the words out loud. I
tell you, I don't know what he tells those recruits.
I think if we move towards the mega conference,
Yeah, he's
the competitive balance is going to be in question.
But
Vanderbilt, speaking of that, did you see they got a vote and everybody was mad about it? I'll get to that in a minute. But didn't we go over this, like only 5 teams have won the SEC championship in like 25 years or something like that? Like Terry or Tom and Zach, all of you, of all the people talking about competitive balance, should it be Nick Saban?
no, because I don't know what he tells those guys to get them to go to Alabama. I've been to Tuscaloosa. It's a toilet.
And it's
I
hot.
don't know what he tells them to get them to go down.
Send your hate mail
seriously,
to 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
seriously. If you're an 18-year-old guy, and I actually had any athletic
Right.
ability,
Right.
somebody came up to me, "Hey, Tom, do you want to go to UCLA, or do you want to
Miami?
go to Tuscaloosa?"
I want to stay on the 7th
Tuscaloosa,
floor
the
where
toilet.
Greg Olson was staying.
Hey,
No.
Miami.
I'm going, send me to Cali, man. You know what I mean? If I was a young man, now I'm not a young man anymore, but if I was, I'd say, hey, I want to go to, Southern California. Go play for USC. I'm not going to that toilet for that little midget to scream at me when it's 98 degrees and in summer workouts. And I ain't doing that. But, they do. Yeah, I will say this, a lot of his guys do go to the pros. So, I get that aspect of it. But there is no way I'm going to that place. So I don't know. I will give him credit. Whatever he tells those guys, whatever hypnosis. Remember the kid that played in the national championship game against Ohio State who had a blown out knee and could have jeopardized his whole career, but he went out there and played anyway? I can't remember. It was a wide receiver. It was like a number 1 draft.
Yeah.
choice.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what does he tell these guys to get him to go out and do that? I'll give him credit for that. But no, competitive balance, no. He needs to shut. It's just the epitome of hypocrisy.
I'm not going here to say if we should have it or we shouldn't, but if we have 2 20-team leagues, how's that going to impact all the people that are not in those leagues? Now he's worried about the other leagues.
Oh,
now he's worried about us.
him.
He's worried about App State now, Terry. Nick Saban's down there. Well, how's App going to get in
Probably
the
because he's
playoffs?
going to play. He's probably going to play these teams anymore. He's going to play the 20 that's in
It'll
his conference.
hurt his recruiting as well. It's going to hurt his recruiting.
At some point, he's got to retire.
Yeah, he's got
he's
today
old.
would be nice.
Which speaking of that, he was complaining about that. Other teams are telling people he's going to retire soon. He was complaining about coaches telling recruits that. He says he's got recruits telling him that other coaches are telling him he's retired.
Yeah, I would. Well, it's a dog-eat-dog world of
Right.
recruiting. I would do the same thing. You've got to beg, borrow, steal, cheat, lie, whatever.
Yeah,
He
by the
makes-
time you get to be a senior, he'll not be there.
He makes
Yeah.
it out like he
Yeah,
walks.
he'll tell them stuff
Saban
like
makes
that.
it
yeah.
out like he walks in there, like what Tom's saying, like what he tells him, and he starts reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, John to him, Terry.
No.
And he makes himself out to be like that, and it's
Yeah.
bull. It's all bull.
I just want to know
Every bit of it
if
from
Tom got invited to a mandatory dinner between 1 or 2 people, who would he choose? Mike Krzyzewski or
I'm
him?
not eating dinner with either one of those jerks. And if they choke, I'm not doing a Heimlich. I'm going to sit there and watch them choke.
I was about to say I would take the Krzyzewski one Does that give me a chance to get close enough to slap that rat face smile?
To say, how does it feel to be such a hypocrite, Mike? That's what I'd say. You know, the way you talk about your little sportsmanship videos you did that we had to sit there and watch, and you sit there and dog cuss other teams, players, referees, everybody. It's just, you know, and I love Dick Vitale.
That's almost like
I love Dick Vitale, but Dick, why could you not be a better judge of character on that?
He's almost like Saban's comment a minute ago about competitive fairness.
Duke Vitale, Tom. You mispronounced his name.
What? Oh, Duke.
Dookie V. Dookie
For
V.
a second, I thought I really did because Kevin loves to do that. Yeah, I just and I love Dick Vitale. I think Dick Vitale's great. I mean, he's corny, he's good, but people love him and he's enthusiastic. Until he talks about Duke, then I have to just turn it off.
I liked him a lot better when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think the kid really.
Yeah, I mean,
that's before you. Just like that's with anything in the news and now thing is that you used to think everything wasn't biased. Now you know everything is.
Yeah.
You don't. You just.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with some things, and listening to him is not fun, or it wasn't fun in the last 10 years.
He'd been sick though.
Yeah,
He'd been sick.
All right, so we'll be back in just a few minutes when JP gets back to the microphone or back to his room. Let's watch this. There we go, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Family owned and operated, proudly serving Shelby and the surrounding area with the finest in heating and cooling for your home or business.